Our next coach is one of the great young coaches in Illinois from Naperville North, Kurt Johns.
Skylar.
Coach Johns, you've obviously had a nice run here since you've been around, competing for top fives, winning a trophy. What is it about this Naperville area that just breeds this awesome brand of swimmer?
We're really lucky with the kids that we have out here. I think that we've got a great age group program. Our Park District program over the summer gets a lot of kids involved. I think it's kind of akin to other areas where they have, everybody does T-ball. Everybody swims out here, and everybody's engaged in it, so you can start to pluck the good kids from it and get them involved at an early age.
Now, you had some bad news to start the season. Andy Eichen got injured over the summer.
Mm-hmm.
How long, or maybe it was immediate, did it take for your kids to say, okay, Andy's not going to be around, but we still have goals that we want to accomplish this year?
I think it helped that Andy was around from the start, and he was there to support those guys, from the beginning of the season, and said, you know what, I'm here to do all that I can. I might not be in the pool to, be able to push you guys that way, but I'll push you on the deck. And this team still goes on. You guys still have to, kind of push through this. And I'm really proud of our guys that we are where we're at right now. And it's because of their hard work and his motivation, too.
We definitely have a strong junior class with Butts and Bessler. The outsider's perspective, the thing that I looked at when I saw your lineup yesterday, I thought Nick Bessler would be swimming the backstroke. You decided to go 3 relays. What went into that decision?
That was a tough choice for us. Nick is a really talented swimmer that could swim, a number of different events and have a great chance of finishing in the top 12. Ultimately, we went with all 3 relays and the 2 IM just because we felt like our 3 relays with Nick had the potential to finish in the top 12, and without him in that, we're not sure if that's the case. And we felt like from a team standpoint, that was a better fit for us.
Nick seems to have really embraced being a sprint freestyler on these relays. Last year, obviously, did great in the IM, medley relay backstroke, but he's just been swimming unbelievable in the sprint freeze this year. Is that something you told him to focus on in the off-season, or just he's taken upon himself?
He's kind of taken off on that on his own. It's something that he's really kind of developed a little bit more during our high school season. I know that he does a lot of it in the off-season as well, but he knows that there's an opportunity in our free relays, and we need him to go fast, and he kind of rises to the occasion. I think he likes where he's at in those relays, and he likes the energy that he gets off of that, and he's done really well with it this year.
Your other big junior, Kevin Butts, it seems like you're a little cursed this year. He got a little banged up to start the season, couldn't practice until winter break or so. Talk about his progression throughout the year, because obviously when you miss that time, it's a little different.
Oh yeah, he's the way that he goes about practice. At first I was worried at the beginning of the season, where he was going to come in at, with the injury, and we kind of had to hold back for a couple weeks. But the way that he works in the off season, the way that he came back and worked once he was fully cleared, I had no doubts after that first meet. He works his butt off, and he's done a great job thus far. He's should have a good meet.
Yeah, he swims 2 of the toughest events in the state in terms of competitiveness. Is that something that you can see he embraces? He says, I want to go out there and compete with these guys, whether it's the 200 or the 500.
Sorry, I didn't hear the end of that.
Is that something that Kevin embraces, whether it's the 200 or the 500 free, really competing with the top kids in the state?
Oh yeah, he knows his competition. He knows who he's going up against, and he is swimming 2 of the toughest events, with Danny and Connor Jager and some of these other guys that are swimming, and it's going to be a really challenging 200 and 500 free, but he knows who he's up against, and he's always performed really well at the state meet, and would expect him to do the same.
Let's talk about the rest of your guys, the guys that the outsiders don't know as much about. Obviously, you said you're going for the relays. Well, it can't be all Kevin and Nick. So let's talk about what the other guys have brought this year.
That's what I've been kind of proudest of our team the most is the way that our other guys have stepped up and really have matured into good leaders and good, strong workers in practice. So, we've got kids like Tom Hubbard, Alex Hogenboom, Sam Hiller. We had a plethora of guys yesterday that went through and just swam out of their minds. And I think it was really, it was a testament to how hard they worked throughout the season. And I know I'm leaving out other guys that were on our sectional team, but I was really proud of how those guys did yesterday, and I know that they're going to come back and do well this weekend.
Talk a little bit about the whole Naperville sectional. It's so competitive every year. Is there something that you talk to the kids about to say, I know you want to go out and beat your buddies from Naperville Central and Neuqua, but it's really about the next week?
Yeah, that's tough. It's tough to tell a high school kid to keep everything in perspective. The sectional meet, especially out here, since so many of these kids have swam against each other for so many years, and they're really highly competitive. We've got our summer city meet that our kids, they want to get up and race each other, and it is hard to come around next weekend and still have that same fire, but that is something that we talk about and say, it's all you have to do is qualify. All you have to do is get through and be patient, be calm, and get ready for next week. And I think our guys are ready.
Well, as a young coach, you'll obviously be around for a long time. What's it about the cuts? You mentioned you just have to get through. Well, it's getting harder and harder just to get through because the cuts keep getting faster. What do you think the future is for that? Is it going to plateau, or is it going to become like NCAA's around here?
I hope it plateaus. It's I was telling, we had a lot of swims yesterday where kids dropped a ton of time, but just missed cuts, by a couple tenths of a second. And I was trying to put everything in perspective with some of our boys after those swims and said, if those were the times when we were in high school, or there had been 5 people swimming at state, it's amazing what the kids can do at this level. And I don't know. I keep thinking it should plateau, and it never does. The kids keep getting faster, and I think coaches are working them harder, and kids are more dedicated, and they can see that result when they get into these top meets.
Maybe the coaches should just have a group effort to all go slow one year and make the cuts easier.
There you go.
What's this group focused on going into state? Is there a team goal, a goal for one of the relays that they really have their eyes on?
That's a good question for us. We have so many new faces this year. We have one returning diver, and really Nick and Kevin are the only swimmers that have any state experience or even sectional experience. So we have a new group of guys, and I think they're excited to get in and see what they can do next week. I know that they would like to finish in the top 10, and I think that they're very capable of doing that. I think the biggest key for us will just keeping everybody right mentally. Not get overwhelmed by how intense that state meet atmosphere can be. Keep everybody focused on what they can do on their race, not get caught up in everything else, and just go out there and do what they can do.
Is that something that Nick and Kevin have taken upon themselves to talk to the guys about? Be like, this is what it's going to be like. This is how crowded it's going to be. So be prepared.
We've had a lot of conversations about that, and we will, in the future too. But they've taken on a great leadership role, and they've helped to keep those guys calm. The two of them kind of have an interesting dynamic. Kevin is he's very serious, very focused, and Nick is kind of
loose.
He's very laid back, and I think it complements the rest of the guys really well. Those guys who need to be focused and ready, they kind of gravitate towards Kevin, and the kids who just need to relax and think about something else, they gravitate towards Nick. So it's worked well so far.
Well, I'm sure you'll have them ready in 5 days. Good
I
luck
hope so.
today, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Our next coach is someone that, keep going.